Have you ever followed instructions perfectly and still ended up failing? Have you ever wondered why experience sometimes succeeds where books and formulas fall short? Today's inspiring story introduces us to Advay, a bright young boy who believes that every problem can be solved with the right formula. Armed with books, gadgets, and precise measurements, he sets out to bake the perfect chocolate lava cake for his grandmother's birthday. But when his carefully planned recipe turns into a complete disaster, Advay learns a lesson that no book could ever teach him. So make sure you watch this wonderful story until the very end, because its message might change the way you learn new skills and face challenges in your own life. And if you enjoy inspiring, educational, and meaningful stories like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at TheStoryEcho English. Like this video and share it with your friends and family. Now, let's begin today's inspiring story, Advay's Cocoa Catastrophe.
Advay's Cocoa Catastrophe. Advay was a boy who believed that everything in the world could be solved with a formula. While other kids in his Bengaluru apartment complex were playing football, Advay was in his room with a thick book titled The Science of Sweets. He had no interest in messy experiments. To him, if the book said 30 grams of sugar, then 29 grams was a disaster. He followed rules perfectly. His grandmother, Mira, was not a typical daddy. She wore stylish tunics, kept her hair in a chic bob, and ran a successful catering business from her smartphone. She watched Advay from the kitchen island, sipping her espresso. "Books are good for the head, Advay, but cooking happens in the heart," she said with a wink. Advay just adjusted his glasses and ignored her. "I am going to make the ultimate chocolate lava cake for your birthday, Daddy," Advay announced. He spread out his digital scales, a thermometer, and a stopwatch. Mira offered to show him how to check the batter, but Advay shook his head. "The manual says exactly 5 minutes of whisking. I don't need intuition, Daddy. I have the data." Advay began his operation. He measured the cocoa powder down to the last tiny grain. He used a ruler to make sure the butter cubes were exactly 1 centimeter square. He followed every sentence in the book as if it were a law. He didn't look at the batter. He only looked at the numbers on his digital screen and his stopwatch. When the timer beeped, Advay pulled the cake out of the oven. According to his calculations, it was perfect. But as he flipped the cake onto a plate, there was no lava. Instead, a hard, dry lump of burnt chocolate landed with a sad thud. It looked like a black hockey puck. Advay stared at it, his mouth wide open in shock. He tried a second batch, adding exactly 10 milliliters more milk as the book suggested for dry climates. But this time, the cake didn't even cook. When he turned the pan over, a soupy, raw brown puddle spilled out. It smelled like wet flour and looked like mud. Advay slumped into a chair. He followed every instruction, but he had 2 failures. Mira walked over and sat beside him. She didn't laugh. She just poked the hockey puck cake with a spoon. "The book didn't lie, Advay. But the book doesn't know our oven runs a bit hot, or that the weather today is very humid. Cooking is a conversation between you and the food. You have to listen to the ingredients." Mira stood up and tied an apron over her trendy clothes. "Let's put the gadgets away," she said, sliding the digital scale to the corner. "Watch the color of the yolks. Feel the thickness of the chocolate." She cracked an egg and showed Advay. "This is the part the book cannot describe. You have to feel the rhythm of the whisk." Under Mira's guidance, Advay tried one more time. This time, he didn't look at the clock. "Watch the ribbons," Mira whispered. "See how the batter falls? It should look like heavy silk." Advay stopped looking at his stopwatch and started looking at the bowl. He felt the weight of the batter and the way it shimmered under the light. When the cakes came out, they were wobbling perfectly. Advay held his breath as he turned one over. A river of warm, glossy chocolate flowed out beautifully. Advay and Mira shared the cake, laughing together. He realized that while his book was a good start, his daddy's practice was the real secret. He learned that some things are learned by doing, not just reading.